We have our initial, when we were testifying before the Constitution Modernization Commission, Representative Vernon Sykes, co-chair, put together a small work group that included League of Women Voters, included some other, like Don McTighe and Paul DeMarco, was on the early stages of the development of this language. We will continue to reach out to groups. This coalition will be meeting with a lot of folks to join us in this effort. It's just this group really felt that it was important to launch now with everything that's going on with voting and the fact that it's Dr. King's birthday, that we felt that we needed to launch now.
Why is 2014 so important? You could do it in 2015 and still be in position for the 2016 election. It just seems like a huge hurdle to get 500,000 or better signatures in, 5 months?
Well, I think the issue with this group was that we can't wait any longer. Every week there's a different bill that's eroding voting rights. Many said they can't sit on the sidelines any longer. Citizens that I've heard from after the March on Washington wanted to feel like, what can we do? Right now they can't get involved. I mean, they just have to sit back and watch it. They have to sit back and watch it play out. This empowers citizens to be able to express themselves and have a say. And so after the March on Washington, the question was, the time is now.
I see it. You can leave now.
Representative, I didn't hear a whole lot of specifics about the actual language. What is in the amendment? What do you?
And we'll have it in here. But basically, the bipartisan bill that was put together after the Bush election, there was a bipartisan bill that was put together that allowed for more access to voting. We had provisional ballots that came out of there. We had early voting that came out of there. And now, that some of those things have been challenged and changed. But what this does is put those rights in the Ohio Constitution so that people know what the rules are. It's in the Constitution, and it's not a football every week based on who's in charge.
So in the Constitution, you'll spell out exactly what early voting hours and dates are?
There are some specifics would allow for flexibility, because obviously some of the things that would have to need flexibility for a Secretary of State. But what it does is it creates the ground level for voting rights, so that everybody knows that this is the ground level, and we can't go below those things. And so it identifies some things: how old you have to be to vote. Some of the things that we have now, but right now it's just in code. It's not in the Ohio Constitution.
Do you have a copy of the language that you could have?
Yes, we do. Find Sean Tucker. I thought it was.
Brian Rothenberg said it's supposed to be online. I don't know where.
Is it online, Jen?
I have to ask Tucker. I thought we had I think we do have hard copies. Let me just make sure.
Help write this.
Well, we had there was a first edition of the drafts that was a small work group that Representative Vernon Sykes, the co-chair of the Constitution Modernization, pulled together. And I can't think of everybody who was in there, but League of Women Voters, Voices Now, Don McTighe, Paul DeMarco. So that was a small work group, and we made. I had testimony before that group twice, and also before the White House Commission. Unfortunately, it didn't seem like there was going to be anything happening right away, and the constituents and the folks that were up here that you saw feel as though we need to do something now, because every week, you're reading about a different bill that takes away another initiative in terms of voting.
The Ohio Democratic Party on board yet, and have you approached labor unions already to try and get that?
We have been in several conversations, and will continue to be in several conversations. I think what's important today is that because this is a nonpartisan issue, and voting should be. I think what's important is that this is not traditional, but in the spirit of Dr. King, because it's the people's movement. It's not this one, leadership group, another leadership group. That's not how we got the Voting Rights Act. And so this is in somewhat of a non-traditional way because it's in the spirit of what Dr. King, when they started in the basement with some clergy, some community folks, and said we need a Voting Rights Act. So this will be a little bit different than our other. Yes. Okay, so you need copies.